Hello everyone, Timer over here, and welcome. Today we are going to be starting a new Let's Play for Software Inc. Alpha 11. So if you're not familiar with Software Inc., it has been featured a number of times on my channel. And it is a software company simulation management kind of game where you build up a software company from the ground up. Develop software, you launch it, you complete contracts, you do all of these things. You hire employees and build up your company and so on and so forth. Very interesting. Our last Let's Play series was on Alpha 10. And we went pretty long in it. We basically grew our company to where we could easily get to $1 billion and everything, and so on and so forth. But Alpha 11 has just released, I believe, last week, and I've been playing around with it, and boy, have things changed. Oh my goodness. Things have gotten a little bit more complicated. Well, not necessarily complicated, but I think the back end has gotten more complicated in terms of, you can no longer, it seems like, just like do a couple contracts, a month or 2, 3 months of contracts, and then go right into your development phase and like come out like swinging and get millions of dollars and be done pretty much. It doesn't seem to be that possible. It seems pretty darn hard to have a hit project initially. I've dabbled with it. I've went through a couple of test games just to see if I could get, anywhere near sort of the productivity that I had in my last Let's Play. And I haven't gone too far into it. I've only tried to release one project, and every time it has busted big time. Now, a lot's changed in terms of marketing and development time and all this stuff that we'll take a look at. And Alpha 11 is still a test alpha. I mean, it's experimental build. You opt into it currently. So if you're still on Alpha 10, it shouldn't update automatically from what I gather. I had to actually, enforce it on my Steam account in order to get it to install Alpha 11. And it will break your Alpha 10 games. I can confirm that because we can no longer load those in. But a lot, some nice things as well. I like the way they're going. But we'll get in there and see what the deal is, and hopefully don't go bust, but I have a feeling we will. So let's go ahead and start a new game here. We're gonna go ahead and make a Nani mouse. We're gonna make him a rover, and we are going to randomize. Oh no, male, female. I'm gonna randomize a couple times. Blah, blah, blah. I'll go with you. Change your beard. Change your hair. Maybe not. Alright, we'll go with you. I'm like, I don't want to spend too much time going over my character here, so we'll just do something like that. I don't like that look. Let's go with a t-shirt. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, we're fine there. Personality-wise, this is pretty much the same. Company rate. Time Industries. There we go. Let's do that. Sure. Actually, oh no, time stream. Let's not do that one. I was gonna say, can I get my Let's Play avatar back? But no. All right, so we're gonna go with that. So personality-wise, this really hasn't changed much. I'm gonna leave it on generous and optimistic, which are the defaults. We're fine. I'm fine with that. Skills also haven't really changed the slider over here. But I will say that I've typically gone sort of like something like this to boost my programming and designing skill pretty high. But I am going to leave a little scooch with artist. I'm still going to negate marketing and lead on my main avatar here just because I don't think it's necessary. But again, I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it is better to go with a across-the-board setup at the moment in Alpha 11 just because of all the other changes. But anywho, the specialization is really where things have changed a little bit. Instead, we've got these various different specializations: development, leader, and services. Services are the new support, marketing, and this new law mechanic. So marketing and supporting of products, including like, tech supporting and fixing bugs and everything, fall under this service category. So no longer are you going to have like programmers designated as support people. at least later on, you actually do hire specific service-oriented people for your support. So that's new. As well as these various different, levels or stars per, development. So here we can actually set our designing skill. I'm going to go 2 stars in. And each one of these stars has a specific thing that it allows us to do, in terms of designing and everything. And I don't know why it doesn't show me. Maybe it's not. I mean, clearly the designing and everything, as we see when we develop projects, there'll be 1-star features, 2-star features, and 3-star features. You need to have that 3rd star or that 2nd star in order to develop that. At least one person on your team needs that. So, something to keep in mind in terms of development. Same with programming. So I'm just going to go with something like this because I still am going to do the 2D editor. But as I said, I've done a couple test games and so far haven't really had much success. Artist, I am going to go ahead and give myself some artists. I'm not going to do audio because I'm just going to do like pure 2D stuff right now and go from there. So then we need to do specializations here. Lead, there is also a random button if you're curious, and just hit random and it'll randomize all your skills. But I'm going to actually click the skills here. So specialization. So as you can see, we can see now that each of these stars in the leader category and service category actually give you some perks. So 1 star in HR allows us to handle complaints and salaries, but HR 2-star allows us to handle education, and so on and so forth. I'm actually just going to max out. I'm going to take specialization, boost team compatibility. I think that's a good, investment right there. And then we'll go automation. Oh, we still have one more. I'm not going to be a leader with this character, so I think 3 in automation and 1 in socialization is going to be fine. Service, here we go. We're definitely going to want, I think, pure support. Because marketing, we'll see. We're going to outsource marketing at least initially. Okay, I like that. So we're going to go with that. All the starting situations, the loans, the starting year and everything, we're going to keep the same. And then we're going to go ahead and pick our map. So you got 3 options. You got the garage, the apartment, and the skyscraper. I typically go with the apartment. It's just sort of a little, I think, better in terms of it gives you a little bit more room than the garage at a little bit more cost, but it's not like crazy cost in terms of like doubling almost essentially for not that much more space, I guess. I don't know. We're going to go with the apartment. I mean, the ultimate goal is to get out of the apartment anyway and move into something that we design, but from what I can tell, it's going to take us a long time to do that. So here we are. Here we are. We are now in our apartment here. We're going to go to manage teams, and I'm going to actually change my my time here, my work hours, at least for now. And the main reason I do that is just because right now my core team is myself, and it doesn't really matter in terms of what your time is. He's going to work regardless. He doesn't have any sort of, as far as I know, I don't think they've changed that. You don't actually get hit with any penalties for like complaints or anything because it's your avatar, and you're going to work your butt off at the beginning here. So that's that. So what else has changed? Well, we've got under development software. This is where the big craziness has happened. And by craziness, I mean like really interesting feature changes. But it's also, I think, a little quirky. Development time has seemed to have gotten a lot longer for even the most basic of projects, because one of my favorite projects to do early on is a 2D editor, and we're still going to do that, but it's going to be some time before we actually are able to do that. And the 2D editor, the base 2D editor, requires 2 designers, 2 programmers, 1 artist, and less than a year. So I mean, and it can take at least a year, I would say. And these are all the features that we can add in here. As you can see, there are 3-star features, 2-star features, and 1-star features. And again, you need someone with, 1-star, 2-star, and 3-star in order to access all of these in their sort of, design. So you need someone with 3-star design of 2D graphics in order to get Beautify in there. and so on and so forth. And if it's red, it won't be able to be used. Now, I still don't quite know what the difference is, why this is red, this is clear, and this is gold. I think it's just a designation in terms of like 1 star, 2 star, 3 star. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the description or in the comments below, but I believe that's all that means. The actual feature would be red if you couldn't develop it, if you couldn't plan for it. But this is another, interesting tool that I'm still playing around with, figuring out the ins and outs of. But essentially what this tool allows you to do is target a specific market within the market for 2D editors. So within 2D editors, the markets are people interested in design, people interested in drawing, and people interested in retouching. And you can tailor this design for that specific market. So maybe all of your competitors have been doing, sort of in between, sort of like, just this center mark for retouching, drawing, and design. But maybe you want to do a little bit more to hit the retouching audience and sort of carve out a niche for retouching. Or maybe your competitors have been going more towards the drawing area of the market, and you want to do sort of more design. So just some sort of sliders around that can sort of help, carve out a niche in the in-game market for the tool that you're developing. This screen here also gives you the option of generating a design, which so far is not super useful, at least early on, because as you can see, we can't do it because our team size is so small. It doesn't seem to allow you to generate a design until you have the recommended, designers, programmers, and artists, at which point it will allow you to generate a design based on, what your staff has, essentially. So kind of useless, at least early on. But we can always skip this page in the future. You can get to all this information on later pages. So let's go and do something like time to D, like so. And then go through some of these other changes. I'm going to briefly go through these because we'll be looking at these later on. But another change was the framework. So you still can actually put in a sequel. So this is going to be an original IP, but if we had a previous IP that we want to make into a sequel, we could. But now we have this framework button, which allows us to sort of speed boost essentially what the current tool we're developing is. We can either create a new one, real library. It's going to, as you can see, it's going to affect our details over here. If we do a new, it's going to take more programmers and sometimes more time, depending on what what features we're actually choosing. Alternatively, we could do an existing one and pick from a variety of different competitors, and anything that is blue will be boosted, speed boosted, because it's essentially, taking what's already been done and improving upon it, essentially. And we can make these frameworks ourselves. We can, take them from other competitors and so on and so forth. And then pretty much everything else seems to be about the same, at least, in-house. You want to keep that around if you don't want to actually market it and sell it. I've never used the in-house button really, but I can see some reason for it. Next page, we got the operating system here. And then this page. Now, I'm very happy. When I first got into Alpha 11, this page was very wishy-washy in terms of what it actually does. But with a recent patch, I think maybe today or yesterday, they changed it so that these lines appear. And essentially what this seems to be is every one of these features from the 1 star to the 2 stars will affect your market satisfaction. So every one of these, so levels and curves, those interested in retouching, that's what levels and curves are going to affect. The 1 stars do it a little bit, whereas the 2 star stuff brings it up quite a bit. So you can see, like, if you're trying to go sort of middle of the road to satisfy, all these people, you're going to want to sort of like, mix and match these and just try to get these bars up as close to these lines as possible. But again, it's going to take a lot of time. Now, the third area, the 3rd star options don't at all affect market saturation. just sort of gives you something beauty, something nice, something like, it's sort of a perk. It's going to extend, a lot of things, but it's more sort of like just standout kind of design. It doesn't affect your saturation or satisfaction, market satisfaction. But 1-star and 2-star things do. So we're going to go ahead and, this screen is pretty much the same, except for this publisher button. And this is something that I think is going to be key early on, based on my test games. You have different options to bring in a publisher who will then take royalties from your sales, but offset some of the development and, costs associated with it and time associated with it, especially the marketing. Marketing seems to have been changed so much so that even if you have a dedicated marketer, they're not going to be able to really do much. The only way I could find to get marketing going on a project and even get sales whatsoever is to actually use a publisher to do marketing early on. So that's going to be important. The other thing that might be important is printing and marketing. The release schedule I'd avoid. Thus far, I've not been able to get this to do much of anything. It automatically sets a date for your job here, but as we're going to see, it's going to take a long time to develop this, even if we're not going to be able to meet this deadline. So I'd leave that off, but I definitely probably would put marketing and printing. The funding is interesting. It really jacks up the royalty, but it does give you a nice little sort of nest seed. I don't know if it's really worth it, because $30,000 in the grand scheme of things is not going to be super important, especially from my experience. So we're going to leave that one off. So we're going to cancel this. I'm not actually going to develop it. I just wanted to highlight those, changes, so to speak. And a lot of this video is going to be just sort of like talking about the changes. So let's go ahead and at least start our company here before I have to put in a cut. We're going to go ahead and put you down. We'll take a nice executive chair for me. We've got our old computer. We are going to be programmers. Yeah, probably. I think. Let's grab let's get the design down, at least for our main character here. Just because you're going to be any role for now. All right, so much like in Alpha 10, your first goal is going to be contracts. Contracts. And the only difference really that I can see, just general strategy for contracts, is you're just going to be doing a lot of them. Just a lot of contracts, a lot more than you plan to do or you would do in Alpha 11. And the main reason for that is things just take so long, and you just need to keep that money flowing as best you can. So your number one priority is going to be completing contracts. And even the contract window has changed. So as you can see, we've got 3 contracts going. The iteration is new to Alpha 11, and the iteration essentially dictates, each as it says, each iteration positively impacts potential quality and how quickly bugs appear. So I think they cap at 4 iterations, but you can always, cut it out after the first iteration. I would advise, at least for some things, not, let the first iteration play out, but at least on these early contracts with like horrible and bad quality, you can develop them fairly early in the development cycle, from what I can find, and still get a lot of the money out of them. So like, for example, let's just go ahead and develop it now. We're not quite done with our 1 iteration, but these contracts, they're looking for horrible to bad quality. So I'm not going to be too concerned about really getting a lot of iterations done. I just want to get these things finished, usually within the same day that I take them, or the same month in this race. So as you can see, we are now looking at this status bar. So this bar here dictates what this job is sort of requiring. If we take a look at the project details here, we need to have a minimum progress of 22.3%, and that's what this bar is. So we've gotten to 31% of the coding done. That's going to be more than enough for these 3 contracts to go. Let's just let it go a little bit more. And I'm going to promote it. We're in the bug phases. And what you really want to do is make sure that the bugs get fixed, or at least some bugs get fixed, because for every bug not fixed, you are going to get hit a cost here. So I usually try to let them fix as many as possible. And as you can see, we fixed them all because he's not working. So we're going to go ahead and finish that. So we've got 6,000 bucks for inadequate quality. Yeah, but hey, we're still, you know, again, you're not really looking for quality in these contracts, in my opinion, at least early on, because things are so difficult later on when you're actually developing the software. So we're going to go ahead and keep doing these contracts, but we're going to let things go to the next month. And what we might do is I might put in a cut in between episodes so that I can actually get some of these contracts done and get us a little nest egg. What that nest egg is going to be, I don't know. I've gotten up to 100,000 bucks and started development and then started going into bankruptcy. So you really want to be mindful of your starting money and, like, you know, how many people you're hiring. But remember, the development of software now takes a lot of manpower to do it properly. Let's get, I do like the game asset ones just because they don't require any bug fixing or anything like that. So let's go with that. And then, do we have any horrible quality? Unfortunately, no. Let's get one of you, and sure, one of you. Get these going. I might just go and develop this now. I'm trying to do 3 at a time, mainly because we need to get this stuff. We need to get money quickly. This doesn't have any bugs, so we're going to go ahead and give that out. So that's 5,900, which isn't bad. Take a look at the project here. Payout penalty. Yeah, I mean, it's working. It's working for us. Bugs. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to not wait for these to finish. I'm just going to go, as long as I have a couple bugs done, I think I'm okay. So yeah, we've got 6,200 there, 6,000 there, 6,000 there. I'm going to try to squeeze in one more game asset today. So we've done 4 contracts. If possible, go ahead and develop you. Just let this thing finish all the way. 99%. There we go. Let's go ahead and do that and finish. Still inadequate quality, unfortunately, but just trying to save up a little nest egg. All right, let's take a look at our contracts. Let's see if we can get a good quality contract going here. I'm gonna just focus on it. Let's go with this logistic application. Well, maybe, you know what, let's do this mediocre one here. And I might just grab a horrible quality artist one. And I'm gonna let this one go designing, and that's gonna be fine. This one though, I am gonna go ahead and just promote pretty quickly. Finish. So as you can see, we are on iteration 2. We're gonna keep that going. Iteration 3, iteration 4. All right, let's go ahead and develop this. And hopefully we can get this all the way done. All right, we're going to go ahead and promote it here. And finish. All right, so we're going to see exactly where we are in quality here. There we go. Outstanding quality. So as you can see, actually waiting till the very end is good, but it's not necessary to get these contracts going. I think the better quality affects your reputation, but honestly, I don't think it's that necessary. Your big reputation is going to come with your own products down the line. So we're going to go ahead, I think, and put a cut in this video, because we sort of went over sort of an overview of what I've observed so far in Alpha 11. But I am going to, in between episodes, just try to do as many of these contracts as I can, just to get a nice little nest egg. And I think next episode, what we'll do is we'll actually develop software and see where that goes. So thanks everyone for watching. I hope you're enjoying this look at Software Inc. Alpha 11. And if you have any comments or suggestions, by all means hit that comment button below. And hopefully you liked this video. If you did, hit that like button. If you want to see more content, as always, I strongly encourage you to subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, we'll see you next time, folks. Bye-bye.